here on Peacock from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for Monday practice on a really warm 86-degree day here in the Circle City.
Well, wait till he gets out on track, because there doesn't appear to be any chill out there. It seems high intensity already, as I don't know, more than 2/3 of the field appears to be out there dicing and slicing.
Do you like to put yourself through some simulations, either into one or into three, or is each different situation?
Oh, look at this, 3 wide.
Yeah.
Each one's independent, and that was a pretty rare one. 3 wide. Colton Herta going on the outside to make it 3, taking both of those positions from his teammate Marco Andretti, and then Callum Ilott in the blue and orange.
And this is exactly the kind of situation that can develop. Looking back, you see Colton Herta looking, he goes high. So now you wonder, what's Marco thinking? Is Marco up in the seat like, no, I'm going to charge in and practice like it's the race, or am I going to lay out? Colton Herta clearly on one path, which is, yeah, wide open. I'm just going to own turn 1.
We heard earlier Scott McLaughlin say he wanted to practice leaving pit road. Well, Rinus VeeKay just had this happen a moment ago, trying to leave his pit stall. He stumbles, and I don't know if Indianapolis is a tough place to get off of, or out of your pit stall, I should say, but Rinus had this issue. Who had to push him back, got it fired up, and went out once again. But remember, also, Diff, VeeKay had this issue in the race last year in the Indianapolis 500.
All right, here's that.
Oh, that's a different incident. That's a different moment.
I believe that that's just a 4-wheel slide. Let's watch and listen.
No lift on the throttle, no hesitation. Herta knows the limits of his race car, right in the wheel tracks of Alex Rossi here. Oh my God, that was close.
This is the second one. Whoop.
And
so if I'm looking at the 5 non-Kyle Larson
Whoa.
rookies, as they blend up there in turn 1.
Keep going.
Some big, well, I'm watching Christian Rasmussen work the high side here. I'm going to pick, I'm going to go with Marcus Armstrong would be my pick for the best finish. But we got to go back to the on-track action as they go 3 wide now. Is that Callum Ilott?
Yes, it is.
Looking to the inside. It is getting all stacked up here. And there is still 70 minutes to go. And this is the part of the practice, Hinch, where I think you got to be careful.
Meanwhile, we take you back and show you the 5-hour energy machine of Pietro Fittipaldi.
So this is what I'm talking about. He slows down off of 4 to get that get that fall back in traffic, but you're doing it at the wrong place and the wrong time. That's a rookie. That is, well, he's not a rookie. He's done it before.
Yeah, that's an ill-timed lift.
Larson had to swing so aggressively to the left. These cars not built for it, and then that created this situation in turn 1. Look at how aggressively Larson caught him. Had to go all the way left.
And you're really not supposed to do it to the outside. What you want to do is come off 4 flat, go to the inside, start your lift, because Pietro gets trapped outside.
And then it creates this awkward situation down in 1. So just one of those moments.
Oh boy, look at this.
Dude, we saw this in practice. Rasmussen, the only driver willing to hang it out on the outside, making it work now with, honestly, this many laps run. I'm surprised he made it work.
Let's watch this from Colton Herta's view.
Wow. I'm not even mad. I'm impressed. It's not going to work late in the race, but
if I'm Ed Carpenter, I might pull the young Indy Next champ aside and say, listen, kid, maybe on the last lap, last stint, but not today.
Wasn't it Colton Herta he pulled that on earlier in the week too?
I forget
if it led to the 1-finger salute from Colton Herta, didn't it?
That's true.
That was a different situation, but yes, same driver. That was a late pop where Colton was on the outside and Rasmussen to the inside. So you see this situation. Colton nowhere to go. He's got the big draft, but just can't really take anywhere, and he's not willing to hang it on the outside of Armstrong. And here's Rasmussen again. This was that 3-wide situation with Grosjean and Ilott. Again, Ilott realizing it's practice. In the race, though, in the last 20, you're keeping your foot in that one and forcing the issue.
Yellow flag, track inspection. Pretty much right on the halfway mark.
If he likes something, it's the greatest thing that's ever happened on Earth. If he dislikes something, it's the worst thing that any human being could have possibly conceived.
Whoa, here we go, here we go, here we go. Kyle Larson and Scott McLaughlin almost went into turn 1 side by side.
Did they sweep the track during that track inspection? No.
By the way, for Kyle Larson, much like Colton Herta earlier when he had moments, for Kyle Larson, he's like, well, what's the big deal? This is just like any Wednesday night, Thursday night in the summer when I'm out winging a sprint car. This is a 3 or 4 groove track, right?
I'll tell you what Scott McLaughlin wasn't expecting was his spotter to still be saying outside well after the turn-in for turn 1. And, you know, another guy just looking at the pylon right now that's really impressed me this past sort of 72 hours. Augustine Canapino.
Yes.
Take a look back right now at this move. So 3 wide from Dixon, then watch the green and black car. Let's see, McLaughlin's having a lift as the cars fade back in front of him. That gives the opportunity to Rinus VeeKay on board now from McLaughlin's point of view. Ooh. That's a late move, but these are going to happen in the race. You see the massive 2-car draft that Dixon gets. A nice twofer on a Monday afternoon. In front of that field, you've got the yellow Penske. That's Scott McLaughlin. Dixon's in there.
Up. Big check up there. Things started to walk up towards the wall, so not easy.
So now he's got to practice defense. You know, getting past as quickly as possible is as valuable as passing.
Kyle Larson just threw a nice little dose of shade on Joseph Newgarden there. Used Santino Ferrucci like a pick going into turn 3. Check this out.
Kind of almost faded back up a little bit. So you see there's a spotter in turn 3 that's basically seeing the exact view that we're seeing. Still plenty of room there. He started to move, then Joseph kind of moved again.
Watch
See
this.
how Joe New's doing with traffic.
Oh, yikes.
Sketchy.
Terrifying moment in dirty air, hits the curb on the front end, on the leading edge of that curb. You're trying to get so low in turn 2 to try to keep a little bit of your wing below the car in front.
Look at this. Marcus Ericsson. Oh, and Connor Daly comes out, and crew will have to help. Watch this. Cars coming out. They're trying to blend in. Woo. Graham Rahal, the United Rentals Honda, sweeps around the outside. You'll see that on race day. Look at this.
It's a scary closing rate sometimes when you're in that position like Graham Rahal was, especially if they do start fanning out.
Like Ryan Hunter-Ray, he's dipping out early. Like, I'm going to try to pick that Graham Rahal toe up and see if I can hang on there than they normally would have expected. So
spin in pit lane, Tom Blomqvist. We've been just talking about how tricky it can be on pit road as pit stop practice was happening.
This has got to be Rinus VeeKay like accelerating, yeah.
Exactly right. Managed to get on the brakes, avoid getting into pit wall, and thank goodness there was nobody sitting in that pit box. I think that's the pit box of the number 9 of Scott Dixon. More action on pit lane. Augustine Canapino coming out of his box, and Ferrucci threading the needle as Augustine gets up to speed, goes around Takuma Sato's parked car, fires it into his stall. A nice easy in for Ferrucci and the Foyt crew.
There we go. There's the end of the session. That's Monday for you folks. And a lot went down safely. Other than a track inspection, a caution-free session. Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.